quick story about Concur. There was nothing exciting about how we started Concur. Absolutely nothing. The idea of expense reports is not interesting to anybody. Right? The only reason that I started a company around expense reports is because the last company that I had a chance to be a part of and build was acquired by a company called Symantec. And the CFO of Symantec told me when they bought the business, they said, hey, I noticed you have a bunch of expense reports outstanding. You better file them by the end of the week or you're going to lose your money. And so I'd been on the road for 9 months helping the CEO of that prior company sell to companies like Symantec. And so I had $150,000 of expense reports outstanding. Right? That's a lot of money to anybody. And I was just so busy I didn't have a chance to do this. And I was thinking, okay, I got to go solve this problem. So I went to a place that none of you will have ever heard of, Egghead Software. Anyone actually heard of Egghead? All right, a couple of folks. Egghead Software is this store that you go to and you buy software, shrink-wrap software, right? And so I went there and said, I got to buy some software to go figure out how to get my expenses in time. There was nothing. And so I grabbed a bunch of Avery forms and I sat there for 35 hours that week filling out expense reports. It was a mind-numbing experience. And I never wanted to go through that again. I was thinking, there's got to be other people who have this problem. Like every other business, that's how Concur was formed. It was a problem that I had, that I assumed other people had, and I said, okay, I'm going to go take a risk, and I'm going to start this company. And from a ridiculously boring opportunity came the opportunity to actually change how companies operate. By the way, when we started expense reporting, right, we started off building it out, and we had a whole bunch of original customers that bought from us. But as we looked at what we had, we said, there's an opportunity to do even more. Expense reports are the end of a trip, right? And so what we thought about was, well, why can't we automate how you book trips for companies? Right? In fact, there's an interesting stat here. There's 320 million business trips taken in the US, 1.8 billion trips taken around the world. Well, that's a lot of trips that ultimately ended up in a piece of paper that got put into an Avery form. And we said, well, okay, well, if we can solve the expense reporting side, why don't we also solve the corporate travel booking side? Now, here's what's interesting about this. All of a sudden, what started off as a tiny little opportunity, by executing day in and day out against that tiny little opportunity, we started expanding from there. And we started expanding and saying, hey, you know what? There's this massive opportunity around travel around the world, which is $1 trillion opportunity. Can we go take advantage of that? So this tiny little kernel of an idea grew into a bigger and bigger opportunity to add value to our customers. Well, in fact, that colorful chart represents the revenue of our company over the last X number of years. We started off, literally as a company that might have done $50,000 in revenues in the first year. This forward 12 months will do $900 million in revenues, all around expense reporting. Who ever thought that expense reporting could be that big of a business?